what we do. Okay, so we're on vacation if we love our work. You guys can hear me? Great. Everybody can hear me? Mandy's here. All right, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about me if anybody does not know about me. My name is Isabella Thatcher, and I've actually been in the marketing space since 1996, off and on. Back then, after getting out of the Navy in 1996, I was looking for a job in the accounting field, my billing, and finding nothing in my area, and went online to look for a job. And back then, a lot of the online marketing, they really wasn't starting anything back then, but there was a few, and of inspiration. Most of us wait for the inspiration before we take the action, but it's in the action that gives us the inspiration. Then Og says, I will not avoid. Hey, Deborah, what's going on? Hey, Don. So, I will not avoid the tasks of today and charge them to tomorrow, for I know that tomorrow never comes. It's always today, or rather, it's always now. You get this? Right now. Right now. Because tomorrow never comes. And if tomorrow comes, it's always today. So act now. I will act now. And every day until the words become as much as a habit as breathing, as the actions which follow become instinctive as the blinking of my eyelids. Just like when you do your affirmations in the morning, every morning, and it sinks into your subconscious mind, and all of a sudden you start doing things automatically. Like, I think it's 28 days is the magic number. If you do it over and over and over for 28 days and it becomes automatic. Now it's all we have. Exactly, Rosalind. Hey, Matt, what's going on? All right, so you set the goal, you make the decision, and you take the actions. Do this enough times, and the actions become automatic. So you keep your goals in the forefront of your mind, and you focus on them when you awake every morning and on every hour during the day, and then when you retire at night. So they were talking about how they woke up every morning, they did their affirmations, and then they read a book, and then they did their push-ups, and they do like a routine. They forget who it was who talked about the routine, but then ever since that live, I have set this routine in motion. So it's become automatic. And it becomes easier and easier. And then you can just add a couple more things that you want to change depending on what goals you're going to make. You add or take away from which one you want to take away for goals. So if you guys are understanding what I'm talking about, just let me know by dropping a 1 in there that you're understanding what I'm saying. All right, so I'm stumbling over my words today for some reason. All right, so like when you're in the market for a new car and you think about that car day and night until you're able to acquire it. When doubt enters your mind, you say, I will act now. When you face temptation, you say, I will act now, and walk away from that temptation. If we all did this, what a better world we would be living in, just that alone. So if we all did that temptation, walk away from temptation part of it, when you're tempted to quit, you say, I will act now, and immediately you'll be empowered. When you act now, you will be immediately empowered. It takes away the fears. It gives you that calmness when you make that decision and act now. It takes so much energy and time and the buildup, the nervousness, just to jump over that cliff, to do that dive or whatever you're going to do. Like if anybody's into skydiving, I don't know if I would ever take that dive, but that's a metaphor. Thanks, Don. Thanks, guys. So if you just go ahead and do it without thinking about it, you will see it's so much easier and it takes a lot less energy just to go ahead and act on it. So only action determines my value in the marketplace. And to multiply my value, I will multiply my actions. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will work when failure seeks to rest. I will call on 10 when the failure makes grand plans to call on the 1. I will say it's done before the failure says it's too late. What he's saying is that the successful marketer will do what the procrastinator will not do. So you focus on completing your daily tasks instead of working up the nerve to accomplish the big stuff. It's in the daily small tasks that add up to the big accomplishments. So how often are you planning big deals and not focused on the smaller tasks? You see, the successful person sells the 10 while the failure makes grand plans to call on the 1. They plan and they plan and they plan to do the one thing that they're going to do and never get nothing done, instead of just boom, 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 knocking them out. So for now, let's see here. Okay, so I've got this, I've got this little poem, but before I get to the poem, I want you to write a couple of letters down for me. Okay, so for now is all I have, and tomorrow is reserved for the lazy. Write down the letter L for lazy. I am not lazy. Tomorrow is when evil becomes good. Write down E for evil. I am not evil. L for lazy, E for evil. Tomorrow is the day when weak becomes strong. Write down W for weak. I am not weak. Tomorrow is a day when failure will succeed. Write down F for failure. Now, what do those four letters spell? L-E-W-F spells loof. My friend Dave came up with a poem about being aloof. Don't be aloof. Now listen carefully. This is the poem. I'm not lazy, the loof said with a smile. It's all figured out. I got it filed out in my file. If I spend all day today relaxing, I'll bet I'll be rested and ready tomorrow to sweat. Me evil? The loof said with a grin. How can you utter such nonsense, such a sin? Wait till tomorrow, as idle minds would. It'll be out of my system tomorrow for good. So my productivity is down a little this month. And last month and last year, haven't you had a slump? Weak? The loof questioned. You insult me today. I choose to be strong. Is tomorrow okay? Success is the banner that hangs over my chair. I see it and I read it and I shout in the air. Can anyone hear me? I mean, is it this time? Anybody been here? A failure, no. Tomorrow's success will be mine. So we hear such repetitive oration. I will act now. We have dreams. We have plans. We have goals. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. If you tell yourself this in the morning and all day long and at night, I will act now for a month, then one day it will become late and you have a task you haven't completed and you will want to retire for the day, and all of a sudden you will hear, remember that site that I mentioned last week, thehabitfinder.com? Go ahead and take that. Find out what habits of thinking are dominating your voice, the voice in your head. If it's the negative, they're not you. They're not the real you. Learn your patterns. Metacognition. Metacognition is the cognition about cognition, thinking about thinking, knowing about knowing, becoming aware of one's awareness, and higher order of thinking skills. Awareness and understanding of one's own thought processes. So go to that habitfinder.com and find out what yours are. We are living in our minds of fantasy, frustrated because things are not turning out the way we want it. And we are beating ourselves up. So the solution is making now your primary residence. I will act now. Be in action, be in creativeness, and at the end of the day, you get to celebrate. Create and celebrate. Create and celebrate. And repeat. I will act now. Once you get this down, then you will hear your own real voice, the real you. Now, I've got 10 practical tips for taking action when you don't feel like it. You might want to write these